Clark said, "No layups in my house," and sent Angel Reese flying like it was a Southwest commercial. That flop had Academy Award winner written all over it, but the refs really looked at that and said, "Yep, that's definitely murder," and gave Caitlin a flagrant like she pulled a knife out.
With 4:38 remaining in the third quarter of a game that quickly turned into a blowout, the WNBA world erupted the moment Angel Reese stepped onto the court. Reese crashed to the floor after Caitlin Clark committed a hard foul. She immediately sprang to her feet, her body tense with emotion as she moved forward, eyes locked on Clark. The officials issued technical fouls to both Reese and Aaliyah Boston for stepping in as peacemakers, while Clark's foul was upgraded to a flagrant one, her first in the WNBA. More than just a routine call, it became the turning point in a game that would be remembered as one of the most lopsided contests in league history.
Supporters, well, I told you guys there would be a follow-up video on the nuclear fallout. That's exactly what it's been. Over the take foul, as Caitlin Clark is calling it, and that's a great way to say it. It was a take foul. She was trying to prevent a wide-open layup, although one could argue that
Clark did more than just beat Reese in a highly anticipated showdown. She dominated, leading her team to a 93-58 win that may have shifted the rivalry's momentum. Their tension dates back to college, when Reese's LSU beat Clark's Iowa in the 2023 championship, sparking national buzz with the "you can't see me" gesture. But at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Clark flipped the script. The crowd booed Reese loudly, setting the tone for a game that felt personal. Stronger and more aggressive after bulking up in the offseason, Clark powered past defenders and made a bold statement on and off the scoreboard. The rough play that once rattled Clark in her rookie season was no longer a factor. She had undergone both a physical and mental transformation. Her confident performance felt like the moment she had been waiting for to settle the score. Indiana set the tone early with a 22-7 lead in the first quarter. While Clark scored just 5 points initially, it was her court vision and defensive energy that stood out. Reese, on the other hand, struggled offensively and was limited to rebounding duties, a strategy that ultimately fell short. As the second quarter unfolded, Clark took control, capping the half with a deep 25-foot three-pointer that sent the crowd into a frenzy and pushed the Fever's lead to 13. More than just a highlight, the shot was a statement. This was a new, evolved Clark, and it landed a clear psychological blow. The rivalry reached its boiling point in the third quarter when a hard foul sent Reese to the floor, a moment that marked a clear shift in momentum. Clark, known for her composure, showed grit and fire, while Reese, usually the enforcer, became the target. The Fever fed off the energy, closing the quarter with a 9-0 run to build a 20-point lead. Clark led the charge with a dominant triple-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, plus 4 blocks and 2 steals, her third in just 41 games, the fastest in WNBA history. Reese battled on the boards with 12 points and 17 rebounds, but struggled offensively as the Sky shot just 29.1%. The contrast between the two had never been clearer. While Reese posted empty stats in a lopsided loss, Clark led her team to a commanding 35-point win. Tension spilled into the post-game press conference, where Clark, staying composed, downplayed the hard foul as a strategic play. "Let's not make it something it's not," she said, insisting there was no bad intent. In an ESPN interview, she added, "It was just a solid take foul, nothing malicious." Reese, on the other hand, offered a curt response. "Play basketball. Refs was correct. Proceed." Her brevity hinted at a reluctance to fuel the narrative of Clark's dominance. However, the rivalry took a darker turn when reports surfaced of racist remarks from fans directed at Reese. The WNBA launched an investigation, condemning all forms of hate and reaffirming its zero-tolerance policy. The Chicago Sky also pledged to protect their players, aligning with the league's broader efforts to promote respect and inclusion. What should be celebrated as Clark's breakout performance risks being overshadowed by controversy over fan behavior. After a rookie season filled with record-breaking stats but defensive criticism, Clark announced her arrival as a complete superstar. Her triple-double was more than numbers. It was total control over a Sky team with no answers. Meanwhile, Reese's future feels uncertain. Her rebounding remains elite, but her offense still lags behind. Even her game-winning three, just the fourth of her WNBA career, highlighted how far she has to go. In a league now ruled by versatile scorers, the gap between her and Clark is hard to ignore. Clark's post-game comments only reinforce that difference. Despite a 35-point win and a milestone performance, she said, "We could have done much better." That drive for perfection shows Clark sees this as a stepping stone, not the peak. The future for Reese is less certain. After leading the league in double-doubles and becoming a standout rebounder in her debut season, her exchange with Clark exposed weaknesses and left questions about her ability to evolve. She now faces intense pressure to prove this game was an anomaly, not the beginning of a new reality. The rivalry between Clark and Reese has elevated the WNBA, drawing unprecedented interest and viewership, but Saturday's match risks turning it from a back-and-forth into a one-sided affair. It's now up to Reese to respond and prove she can compete with Clark, or accept that this may signal the start of Clark's reign as the face of women's basketball. The challenge of rebuilding Angel Reese's confidence and confronting the obvious flaws that continue to plague the Chicago Sky has become a defining test for head coach Tyler Marsh. A leader known for his loyalty and calm demeanor, Marsh defended Reese's emotional reaction in the aftermath of Saturday's crushing defeat. But behind closed doors, he knows the truth. No amount of post-game support, media management, or locker room speeches will bridge the ever-widening gap that now separates Reese from her collegiate rival, Caitlin Clark. The Sky aren't just struggling to keep pace, they're unraveling in real time. And Reese, once seen as the future face of the league, finds herself in the eye of the storm. Meanwhile, in Indiana, the mood is completely different, electric, unified, and full of promise. Caitlin Clark has become more than just a star athlete. In only her second WNBA season, she stepped fully into the role of a generational figure, transforming pressure into performance and criticism into fuel. Surrounding her is a perfectly balanced roster, where seasoned veterans like Dana Bonner bring experience and composure, while rising talent like Aaliyah Boston provides physicality and dominance in the paint. It's a chemistry that head coach Stephanie White has cultivated with precision, and it's paying off. White has given Clark the freedom to be herself, to take risks, to lead, and Clark has responded by elevating the entire Fever organization. The Fever's 93-58 dismantling of the Sky wasn't merely a game. It was a message, the kind that reverberates far beyond the scoreboard. It was a reminder that the future of women's basketball is already here, and her name is Caitlin Clark. Even the presence of Indiana Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton courtside felt symbolic, a passing of a torch, a recognition of greatness in the making. Clark is not only leading a team, she's shaping a movement. Her range, vision, leadership, and charisma have already begun to redefine what it means to be a star in the WNBA. Her influence isn't limited to the hardwood. It's cultural, aspirational, and deeply resonant with fans both old and new. For Angel Reese, Saturday's game may well go down as a pivotal chapter in her young career, the kind of moment that forces either reinvention or regression. Her strengths are undeniable: a relentless rebounder, a fierce competitor, and a player who wears her emotions on her sleeve. But in a league as deep and unforgiving as the WNBA, grit alone isn't enough. Reese must now expand her offensive toolkit, learn to impact games in more dynamic ways, and develop the kind of mental composure that transforms pain into power. This is no longer college. There are no easy matchups, no guaranteed highlights. The gap between good and great is merciless and visible, but writing Reese off would be a mistake. The greatest competitors in sports history, from Serena Williams to LeBron James, have all tasted defeat and used it as a catalyst for transformation. Reese has the fire. What remains to be seen is whether she has the focus. Can she accept the hard truths about her game? Can she grow under pressure and not be broken by it? Right now, the balance of power has clearly shifted. The girl once mocked by Reese on college basketball's grandest stage is now the woman rewriting the legacy of this rivalry. Clark's rise isn't just poetic, it's personal. It's a full-circle moment in real time. She has become the symbol of evolution in the sport, while Reese is left grappling with the weight of expectation and the sting of unfinished growth. This rivalry is far from over. In fact, it may only just be beginning. But Saturday's blowout didn't just tilt the scale, it reset the stakes. For the WNBA, for Clark, for Reese, and for every young athlete watching, wondering what greatness really looks like. The answer, at least for now, is clear. It looks like Caitlin Clark, eyes up, walking off the court with a 35-point statement, leaving the rest of the league and her fiercest rival in her wake.